Well, pretty horrendous. We haven't got there yet, or maybe we have, who knows. To stand for mayor, you've got to get 330 signatures, 10 from each borough or the city. We did that. And you've got to give a 10,000 deposit, which we did. Somebody allocated to us from someone else who'd been refused entry to the race, so they handed over the money to us, which is all legal, but now they use their rules unfairly against me, whereas they have flexibility against others. So there's something very wrong going on, so we're taking it to the High Court. Hopefully we'll get a judge to order the London Elects Authority to put me back in the race. Now, if they don't, we will stand anyway by telling people to spoil your ballot. Spoil Sadiq Khan's dictatorship, spoil your ballot. Go in there and write on it, Piers for Mayor, or Peace Now London, whatever, to make it clear you support me as the only candidate for peace. All the rest are for war. Now, the Greater London Returning Officer, of course, is also the Chief Executive in charge of implementing Sadiq Khan's programme. So, you know, there's no way you can say these people are independent and neutral. It's unfair what is going on. So we want to expose this.
Now we know today is 420 in Hyde Park and there was a mass rally gathering. What's your take on cannabis, and do you feel like it should be decriminalised or lessened in terms of the rules?
First of all, I take no drugs whatsoever. I only have tea. That's my only drug, and it's been like that for most of my life, right? Cannabis, I've seen people get pretty ill and then go on to other drugs on cannabis. But cannabis itself is not actually dangerous, you know. So I think it should be legal. And there's another reason for making it legal, is because if it's illegal, it gets mixed up with things which are extremely dangerous. Extremely dangerous. And so it's best it is legalised, and people who are using it don't get harassed. And also, if it's legalised, it could probably be purer stuff as well, not mixed up with things, because all sorts of things goes on in the drug industry, especially when things are illegal. So that's my view. As Mayor of London, I wouldn't have much say on it, except over what the police do about it. I would say, look guys, don't harass people just for cannabis. If they're doing other illegal things, okay, but just for cannabis, no.
Now we know there are a lot of police here, and we got some information that between 6 and 8 p.m. they're going to start moving in fully heavy-handed, almost forcing people to leave. Is this a morally right decision from the Met?
Well, they'll always have reasons, you know, whether the reasons are good or not. I would say no, they should just let people stay. I mean, this sort of stuff happened during lockdowns. They tried to clear us from Hyde Park, and there was a big fight on one occasion, a lot of people arrested. I wasn't one of them arrested, though I was nearby at the time. I've been arrested 16 times during the time since the start of lockdowns and all that stuff, since May 2020. I was arrested 16 times, but it may be the police are now flexing their muscles to find an excuse to bring in more heavy measures. I think that's what they want to do. I think with the World Health Organization hovering to try and be given rights to control us all, impose some vaccine for disease X, which will be another deadly poison, which is killing people. The jab is killing people, let's be clear about that. They want that again. They believe in depopulation. They believe in lockdowns. And I think the police are using this demo, this presence, it's not really a demo anyway, a presence of people for rights to smoke cannabis, which I think is fair enough. They're using this presence as an excuse to flex their muscles. So I would oppose whatever they're up to.
Do you feel like this presence could potentially be used elsewhere, where there's actually genuine crime, such as knife crime, taking place in other areas of London?
Well, of course, there's a lot of things the police could do. You see, look, there's a whole ring of police vans here. That is just, you know, ridiculous. They should be dealing with knife crime. But mind you, the answer to knife crime isn't just, you know, arrest everybody you suspect. You know, it involves a whole measure of things. Like Mayor Rudy Giuliani, he did fantastic things in New York, and ended knife crime and all sorts of stuff, but about a whole lot of measures about, the people who commit knife crime, why are they doing it? Often, again, it's about drugs, drug deals, drug barons, and so on. And, legalising cannabis would probably weaken the grip of these people and maybe lead to less knife crime.
What are your policies for when you stand as mayor, and when do you tend to implement them?
Well, I am the candidate for peace. Peace now, London, peace with teeth. And it will mean that we will say to all those businesses involved in war that they've got to be licensed if they're involved in war, profiting from war, and we'll tax them. We'll make them pay for what they're doing with the intention of driving them out of London. We'll take any measures we can to prevent arms exports, to prevent the export of drones made in England. It's all very well politicians bleating about, Israel killing people, even various workers, aid workers in Palestine. But you see, they themselves are responsible for sending the weapons there which are doing this killing. So we've got to have consistency here. I would take all measures possible against those who profit from war in London. And that includes banks. The Greater London Authority has huge resources which it puts in banks. We wouldn't put them in banks which are involved in the arms industry, for example. Not at all. We just move them out.
Now, in terms of other stuff to do with your campaign, what's your view on the Met Police, and what are you going to do to sort of, do you have any reforms within the Met?
Well, Met Police have to be more accountable. The Commissioner will have to explain to me what he's up to and why isn't there accountability. I think the Met Police ought to be broken up, really, and actually I think the Greater London Authority should be broken up and the mayor should be disposed of. So I'd be a mayor to end the mayors. And the power should go back to the boroughs. And the police operations ought to be more controlled at a borough level and more accountable. There should be police watch committees everywhere where local people are actually in charge of what the police does. The Mayor of London probably has an overall role for the time being, but that's what we've got to have, is accountable policing. We don't have it now. We have the government just wheeling out the Special Patrol Group, TSG as they're called now, or whatever they call themselves, but they've always got an elite force which is government controlled. And that elite force was sent to me one day at 1 a.m. to arrest me for something. It was a nighttime arrest. It's disgusting. And they use their special forces for that. And maybe those special forces should be disbanded. The government shouldn't have these sort of powers. That's one thing I'd do about the police. And we'd have discussion with people on local policing, effective local policing, not this parading around to actually.
Now you say you want to end Mayor of London itself, like the title and just in general overall. Do you feel like that may cause problems in smaller boroughs, that there might be less accountability, for example?
Well, we'd have to look into things like that. We would do a proper discussion, a consultation about such a thing. But I think a lot of people are now alienated by the Greater London Authority. It's a diktat machine. Sadiq Khan is there just as everything he wants to, and he's not accountable. He imposed the ultra-low emission zone. That was actually a Tory plan, by the way. The Tories are now bleating they don't want to extend it. Well, come on, they started it. I don't trust what either the parties say. You've got to make this election one where we can break the circus. Do not vote for the major parties. Do not, on any account, vote for the major parties. Vote for me as mayor, and if they don't let me stand, spoil your ballot paper and write on it, Piers for mayor, peace now. Yes, apart from being the peace now candidate, and make it clear I'm the only candidate for peace. All the rest are mixed up with the war. And, they are part of controlled opposition in the end. Crucial things I would do in other fields is, first of all, I'd end the ultra-low emission zone over the whole of London and remove all the ULEZ cameras. And this is very important because, it's destroyed small businesses, caused suicides among small businessmen, and it's choked up the life of London. It's a complete nonsense. I'll also be reviewing the congestion zone, because I'm not convinced that has any effect other than a machine to collect money, but we'd look into that closely. Another very important thing I can do as mayor will be, I would call in all of those planning applications involving destruction of London communities, and I'll bring living London back. As it is, everywhere you go in London, you find there's very big developments in the heart of living London. I was in Lewisham today. The whole area around there of little shops, fantastic, bustling market, that's going to be, they want it destroyed. They want to build skyscrapers there and flats. They want to imprison us all into a dystopia. I would call in all of those plans and say no plans which destroy living community London.
And in terms of social housing and more like council housing, because a lot of homes are supposedly empty in London, do you have any plans for that?
Well, definitely. First of all, defend all council housing. Any plan involving reduction of council housing, I would veto it. In terms of empty properties, the big issue in London is that it's the money laundering capital of the world. And for that reason, properties are changing hands with increased values empty. Down Oxford Street, there are a block of flats there that's entirely empty, and the flats are changing hands at £6 million for a 2-bedroom flat, and they stay empty. It's just a game where the prices go up and up and up. I would stop that somehow. We would make landlords who don't declare who they are owning these properties, we would try and find a way of confiscating those properties. And if you do declare who owns them, then we want to know why they're empty, and charge them, incredibly high rates for keeping properties empty. I mean, it's the boroughs that collect the rates, of course, and the Mayor of London has part of those. But, we can talk about that rate precept and what, say, the Mayor can have over certain measures, which I just mentioned. I mean, a lot of things we could do. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Now, in terms of the election itself, we know there are a lot of candidates standing. How can you ensure that people will actually vote for you and like your policies, and potentially you can beat Con? How can you ensure that?
Well, it depends on you watching. So spread the word. Piers Corbyn for peace. I am the Peace Now candidate, and I'm the only one. All the rest are mixed up with pro-war, or else completely unclear and talking about a whole jumble of things. Let's be clear. I'm the only one standing for, peace and also genuine, effective action. I have a proven track record on many, many things. Various people saying they oppose ULEZ, fine, but what have they actually done to oppose it? Most of them just sit at home and type they're opposing ULEZ. No, you've got to do more than that. In the end, it's action from below which counts.
Now, we know Con is obviously standing again, but if he actually does get in, do you feel like he's actually been mayor for too long?
Well, he shouldn't be mayor at all, because he's a mayor not for the people. He's a mayor for somebody else, like the World Economic Forum. He should go, and people should resist his diktats. I mean, first of all, we'd carry on defying ultra-low emission zone. Drive at will, do not pay, take down the cameras.
Do you want to say a few more final words to the camera about where your campaign might go into the future and how successful it might be?
Well, we want people in every area to set up groups to support me as mayor. You've only got 13 more days to go. Just do it. Get in touch. We've got these leaflets here. Give them out. My number, you can text me, 07958 713320. I'll repeat that, 07958 713320. Or, of course, there's numbers of groups, Corbyn for Mayor, I'm trying to remember it. Well, anyway, one of them certainly is you can email or go to Telegram, Peace Now London. Go to that and leave messages there. And call little meetings in your area. You've got this weekend and next weekend to go still. Have meetings, rallies, ask me to come along. Peace Now.
Thank you very much for the interview, Piers. Really good seeing you.